I'm IBX Toy Cat, and when I start these live streams, I always get cut off like 20 seconds into the middle of a sentence. So I'll start, and I'll just say all of that again. Hello, I'm IBX Toy Cat, and welcome back to another live stream on the internet. Today I'm working on a fun and new exciting project across my Minecraft world because I'm making a lava river. Years ago, I was surprised. I went in backups and I thought this was like, oh yeah, 3 or 4 years ago. But no, literally most of a decade ago, I drained out a river in Minecraft. It was one of the first things I decided to do after I got sponges, and at first it was cool, but after a while you just have this weird terrain that dips down, and honestly, it makes me think that there's space for something else that should be going here, and so what am I going to do? I'm going to fill it in with lava. This is a multi-step process, and if you've seen the trailer for this stream, which statistically most of you have, am I streaming correctly? Is this my face? Hello, look, this is me. I got a comment from Lego Show TV just for the stream saying, Toy Cat, I've got a Coke, I want to drink the stream. Please start soon. So I started a little bit earlier than I otherwise would have. I just got home from returning a car. If you ever hear me talking about like, oh yeah, so like I drove here, it's because I've rented a car and I'm trying to like work out a use for it in London. It's in some parts of the world, like a car is like the ultimate freedom tool. But in London, it's like, oh man, I went out to a small village in the middle of nowhere, and it was hard to work out where to park this car so I could go and eat in the restaurant. I kind of see how, like, someone got frustrated with that experience once, of like, you know, the car can take me anywhere, but the problem is that the food is outside of the car, and I think that's when the drive-thru was invented. But anyway, hello, how's it going, everybody? You having a good Wednesday? I mean, I hope not, because it's a Sunday. I've been having a pretty good one. I think the first thing I'm going to be doing in today's stream, though, if you're curious why we're heading this way, it's going to be a bit more of a casual chill and chat one. I've got a lot that's on my mind that we need to dive into. But also, there's just a couple of things I need to get a lot more of. One of those is dripstone. I have 7 more dripstone, and I need, I'll be honest, at least a stack more. And I also need some more cauldrons, because I'm starting a mega lava farm. And so let's head over to where both the iron and the wood is kept. So, Cat, you could have... Also, why do I have a chest full of cobblestone? So, Cat, how could bamboo signs never burn? It doesn't make any sense to me either, just like this bug in Realms. But, yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. But the answer to why bamboo signs don't burn is because they don't. If you try to get any more logical than that, you'll lead yourself down a bit of a memory hole. And it's better if you don't do that to yourself. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a couple of things. One is I need a bunch more bamboo. And I figured rather than just, like, doing, you know, like, piecemealing it. Hey, Moo! First tip of the stream. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. So, yeah, as you'll all know, I'm doing Streamless soon. So I want to stream basically every day in December. I've tried to do every single day in December, and it's, like, broken me before. But I'm hoping with the release of... Also, oh, God. I'm hoping with the release of the Ancient City... No, that's not what it's called. With the yeah, that's a sign of how broken I am. With the release of the with the new creaky guy, I'm hoping that we you know, it'll give me some like fun excuses to like stream the update every day, basically. So yeah, let's go ahead and let's put our deep slate in a chest. I think this is my deep slate chest. That's a nice easy one to start with. Is there any more deep slate? There is lots more deep slate actually. So put all the deep slate that isn't cobbled into one chest. Right over here. Nice and easy peasy. No, that's not where it goes, but I mean, it's in there now. It's in there now. I had an organization system, chat. Deep Slate ruined me. I've mined so much Deep Slate, and it's so similar look. This is my, like, big pet peeve in Minecraft. Deep Slate, cobbled Deep Slate. I can tell with about 80% accuracy whether it's one or the other, but I have to like focus my brain in a way that I'm not actively looking to do when I play Minecraft. You know, there's lots of things that are fun to focus your brain on. You know, that's why we play video games, right? And then there are things where it's like, this feels like a chore. This feels like a game that I didn't sign up to play. And that's how I feel about cobbled deep slate. Anyway, so are you gonna deforest a pale garden, says Canvy? Yeah, exactly. So there's like a lot of things I think this is gonna be. I really hope that I'm wrong, but I've kind of emotionally planned out that this will be one of the most mild responses from YouTube to an update. Again, just based on how people are responding to the preview so far, there is so much more negativity around like, oh, so they didn't add any more than this. This is all like I felt like from a Mojang perspective, This would have been better if it were actually more of a surprise to people, I guess. I don't know how to... I don't know how they could have done that. I think transparency is good, but it seems as though this is one of those cases where you're honest with people and people don't like it. So I've kind of like estimated that like people won't care that much more, but I'm going to care as an individual about this update. I'm gonna have like this. I wanna speedrun Minecraft with the new biomes on. I wanna specifically do some fun stuff in my like 100-day series there. I've got lots of like fun plans basically, and let's hope we can do them. So what is this shulker box all about? Why do I have it? Okay, it's got dirt in there, and it's got a lot of stone. I'll put some stone in front of that cobblestone, just so that future... Oh, there's gravel in here too. And then we're just going to dump it in a chest, because I don't know why I have this on me, or why I would want to have this on me. I just know that I do. Now we'll put some glass in here, because I seem to be running low on that. And then we'll throw this just inside, where all the chests full of stone go. Chat, I need to do like a GoFundMe, not the opposite of a GoFundMe, like a go spend me. Chat, I need an idea that will use up all of this stone, and we could do a thing where maybe like the most popular suggestion. Actually, like I've got an idea. It's a genius one. I think will not backfire. I'll come up with 3 good ideas myself, and then I'll put them as votes to the community. And whichever one gets the most votes, we could do. And then when people say, "Oh yeah, why don't you just do all 3 suggestions, Toycat? Are you lazy or something?" What I'll do then is I'll back it down. By the way, I saw a comment on one of your videos that apparently creaking hearts are less common on Bedrock. Not surprising if true. Yeah, I've seen a lot of comments suggesting the same. I want to test it because it feels like a myth to me, but I'm fairly sure. Like I've seen the logic behind why it would be true, and it backs up. So like it's not. I don't not believe it, and I don't fully believe it either. It's one of those. It's an in between myth right now. YouTube recommended yesterday a 2-year-old second channel video. It was about lakes. Oh yeah, so you get all sorts of weird insights as a YouTuber about what YouTube likes and doesn't like about your channel. So like basically, it kills the channel every now and then. It decides the channel's doing great. But on the second channel, that lakes video is like the only one that's like got a real long tail on it. I don't understand why. I don't understand how YouTube decides what is and isn't going to be recommended to people, but it has decided that for now. Oh, it's really hot, by the way. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to sit here while I get a bunch of... You can tell that the farm has broken at some point since I was last here. Oh, no, look, it's going to work. It's going to work. It's going to work. I believe in it. It's going through some hoppers. As long as the other hopper comes through here, too, we'll be fine. No, that's going to be stuck right there. Oh, I see what's been happening to them. They both go round, and then they... Okay, I'm just going to knock it this way. I'm just going to say that way you go. And now they can both go round. They can both drop off all of their things, and they can hopefully pick up some more. Okay, so what I'm here to do is I'm here to fill up an entire shulker box with bamboo planks. Probably an entire feels like extreme, right? But if we take as many blocks of bamboo as we have, and then we concede that, like, okay, for every block of bamboo you get 2 planks. For every 2 planks you get 1 sign, and I need 1,000 signs. So for every block of bamboo we get 1 sign. That feels like exceptionally poor value. I must have done that maths wrong. I hope I've done that maths wrong. Because I'll be using up all my bamboo if not. So I do have a ton of it over here. Thankfully, it's a little bit janky, but that's okay. So we'll throw these in here, and we might just activate our crafter. If this is getting this full already, maybe it is time we turn on the crafter. So I've got a little redstone system that I just have to break something and then immediately put it back down, and then it should. I think we take an item out, we put it in, and then it starts crafting. Do we take another stack out, maybe? There we go. So now it should, and I say should, there we go. It's going to continuously just keep crafting. Maybe I have to take them all out. There we go. Whenever it gets full, it's going to craft. Yeah, perfect. And then we can just put these somewhere. We can craft them ourselves if we want to. So we got a little crafty thing set up. Very handy. And now we're going to just get a ton of bamboo. Bamboo I'm just using because it's renewable. I don't want to waste a non-renewable wood on something like this. So that is why I am not wasting a non-renewable wood on something like this. I'm going to make 4 more sticks to go with this. And then I think while we leave this to go, because I'm going to grab all of the blocks of bamboo that exist here. Is this even working? Yeah, it's probably working. Yeah, it's working just great. So while we leave this to pile up, I'm going to go down and pick up some dripstone as well. That's something this project requires, I think. But yeah, it's kind of funny. I kind of do it myself too, just you know, like out of habit. But the way YouTubers talk about the algorithm, it's kind of like how people spoke about God, or people do speak about God, where you don't refer to the algorithm as a logical being, right? Like you don't refer to it as a thing that exists in the world. You refer to it as this whimsical thing that, like, sometimes the algorithm thinks well about me, and sometimes it thinks poorly. I think it's really, really interesting. You know, sometimes you have to, like, really think about that in your life about, like, do you believe that everything that happens to you because of something that someone did? Or do you think sometimes there is a greater force out there to get you? Because the you know, like, absolving responsibility, basically, which is what I think you're really doing when you say, oh yeah, the world is out to get me. You know, like you're saying that there is nothing you could do because it's the world. You know, the reason that you're lucky and I'm not is the world more broadly. Like, I think sometimes it's harsher to take a look at the... Also, how did that possibly get there? That was me, that's how. So I'm going to take an entire stack of pointed gypsum. I think sometimes it's like a harsher reality than, you know, like, So I'm saying it as if, like, people are like, I let myself off by saying it's the world. But also it's like, no, there are lots of things that we say are the world, but are actually, you know, very, very cruel people in some ways. But that's how things are. The algorithm with a capital A, yes. Yeah, it's very odd. Like, it's entirely understandable, I guess. But it's also one of the strangest things about being a YouTuber, is that people speak about it that way. I think it's weird because some people speak about, like, people that way too. You know, I think that's one of the things if we were to go, like, some amount political. You know, everyone talks about the idea that when times are hard, you go for a strong man, right? Like, it's literally the phrase people use. And I feel like there's some truth in, you know, if you wanna look at any political revolution. But it's like, well, there's more steps in between, right? The strong man is just simplifying down. You know, like, why do people go for a certain type of leader during hard times? And it's like, you know, there's a really interesting point in there that, like, we need people who seem like they are above the system. When you're totally on it, like, the most scary thing about growing up, and I imagine especially more so if you've, like, finished growing up during the pandemic, you know, like, I think Gen Zers are significantly more right-wing than millennials, which is interesting because until very recently, age and, you know, voting patterns basically corresponded near 1-to-1, and, you know, like, millennials, as they're growing older, aren't getting necessarily as right-wing, whereas Gen Z has started. But the thing about that is, like, yeah, if you look at the world, it was scary to me even, like, in a fairly functional 2015 or whatever it was. But as you become an adult in the world, it's terrifying when you realize how little there is that keeps everything, like, held together. Like, you realize everything's kind of duct taped together, and that, like, oh yeah, the people who seem like they know everything when you're young, it's like, no, they are just people like you trying their best. And I think that there's a really valuable lesson to be had from that. I think there's I think it's a really cool thing to realize. Yeah, you can take it both ways, that, like, oh god, people like me run the world, or you can take that as, people like me run the world. But when the world is broken and you're like, oh, people like me are running the world, you need someone who, like, you know, who sees themselves, or at least who other people see them as being above that. Like, oh no, yeah, the world is run by morons, but there is also, I didn't grab any iron. I need to get some iron. I'll grab just whatever I can find on this side of the world. I don't think it's going to be much, but, like, a few cauldrons will go a long way. But yeah, I think also Gen Zs I know are all exceptionally right-wing. It's quite jarring, especially the racial slurs. But I mean, like, this is something I'll, like, I'm gonna jump on board, like, the least popular train on earth, right? It's not someone's right to jump on racial slurs, right? But it is the point that, you know, one of the most important lessons to learn is when people say things, they're not just saying the words they mean, they're doing something else underneath it, right? Like, everyone knows a bunch of examples of this, but we don't apply it to the people that are doing things we don't like. We assume when people say things we don't like that they just believe horrible things and they're awful people. But like, if you think about it, the reason anyone says anything awful to you or otherwise is because they're trying to get, like, you know, in the simplest terms, like, they want to upset you. Oh god, I've got 12 more iron in here, but then that's like it. I don't know how I have such an iron shortage, but I do. So I'll make 2 more cauldrons, and then I'll fly back after I fill up these 2, and then we'll get the rest of it done. But yeah, I think the reason, like, people say stuff like that is, like, it's because they're trying to get a rise, right? Like, or not even a rise. I'm being too... I'm simplifying too much there. That's like... I think this is, you ever get real about stuff and realize that basically everything anyone says is trying to simplify stuff so that other people can understand? Like, what's happening in your brain is near impossible to actually translate to other people. And so you try to say... You know, like, if someone puts all of their brain power in, they can understand you putting all your brain power in and vice versa. And you can have conversations like that. But also sometimes you're like, okay, I just need to say something so that even someone who's, like, half tuned in and has, like, you know, like, half, you know, like, their amount of brain that they want to put into this too can get it. And so I'm going to try and, like, properly explain that, like, that when people tell you that something is bad and they don't give you a good enough reason... I feel like it's human instinct to be like, I'm just going to do the thing. You know, that kind of contrarian attitude, which, you know, of course I am famous for here on this channel. It's something that I really think is quite a wide phenomenon in and out. Could you simplify that for me, please? Well, you see, I'm gonna do it, Kat. I'm gonna commit anyway. I do think if I could actually, I think I'm gonna actually do it and say, also Joshua Lyles! Thanks for becoming the 408th channel member. To simplify it a little bit, I would say that human communication is remarkable. It's amazing that we can all actually speak to each other. We're the only animal that can do things beyond, say, look, food, or me angry, you know? But despite the fact that we can say much more than look, food, and me angry, the most important things to say are look, food, and me angry. Sometimes the food is like a bit more intellectual, like, oh, look how stupid this thing is. You know the person, a guy that you really disagree with said something stupid. Don't look into why too much. Just here's a 5-second clip of them saying something stupid. The fact that, you know, the fact that so many people get their news from little 10-second tidbits, and they're like, I think I know enough about this guy now. And it's like, wait, no, that shouldn't be true. I don't know how you could possibly know enough about, but it's, the point is that, I guess stuff be crazy and we all be crazy too. Okay, so I'm going to put these lavas on this side for now, just because I don't think I can physically put them anywhere else. So I'm going to break that block and then that block. And I don't think I can physically break that block right there. What do you reckon, chat? If I, like, mine jump it, I can get it? I was wondering where the music was. Oh, yeah. Why is there no music? Chat. Let's replay it, and let's see if we get some pig step rolling. Huh. It's not showing on the screen. Okay. And then we got Hail Bubby. Why'd you... Oh, that's not making a sound either, is it, chat? Am I crazy? Are you crazy? Are we all crazy? Chat, that... Oh, there we go. That made a noise. YouTube Recap said I'm in the top 0.1% of ToyCat viewers. You know, I shouldn't do this, but I did do it. The moment that came out, I could have just been like, oh, that's cool. Look how many... But I was like, no. That rather than just accept... Because, you know, top 0.1% is the highest resolution that YouTube will tell you. It won't tell you if you're any higher than that. Like, it doesn't say top 0.01%. But what it does tell you is that you're say, 150 times more ToyCat than the average viewer is how much you watch. So what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to find the person who has watched the most ToyCat this year. We're currently at 182 on our Discord. Oh, see, that went nowhere. How did that go nowhere? I think there's some really weird things happening with this lava. And I don't fully understand it, if I'm being honest. I'm doing my best. but it doesn't necessarily turn into good things. So I'm going to put lava like there, right? And then, oh, but that's going a block further forward. So there's already lava right here, but there's not lava right there. I don't know what to conclude from some of these things. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of fires, and it's going to be just fine. There's like 300 on Reddit. You've seen someone with 300 times the average? That's crazy. So now I'm going to go grab some more glass. I'm going to just fill this in with lava so I can keep the expansion moving with everything besides the cauldrons, which is the easiest bit to manage. And then we'll work out how many cauldrons we'd actually need to do what I'm basically proposing here. I think like three toast slots of like this many should probably do it just great. Especially since that looks like that's the physical maximum anyway. Yeah, if we want to do any more, we're going to run into some physical constraints. But it looks like this village could do with some re-landscaping anyway. So why don't I do that? Why don't I re-landscape this village? I'll make this a door that goes into the lava farm. I think that'd be clever, right? I'll make it like non-accessible to villagers. And then I'll build this mountain so it looks less ugly. Yeah, you know what, chat? It's rare that I get one of these opportunities. I'm going to make this village more pretty. A measly 163. Yeah, 163, 164 times is a lot, Alexi. But again, I don't believe in just saying, wow, good job. I'm like, let's measure this. Is this objectively a good job relative to the average? You know, there's always a best of something, right? You can always go crazy. Okay, so there is a furnace and a crafting table here. Oh, that's a lot of beef. But yeah, we're gonna run into a real... We've got space constraints over there, is what I'm saying. So if we want to expand any further, we have to go this way. But if we go that way, then the sugarcane looks kind of weird. And so maybe we don't do that. So, yeah, maybe we'll just leave this as my last row and then build this connection and then fix this up using some of those extra blocks. Because I did just pick up 30 dirt, and that probably is enough to do what I'm looking to do anyway, right? Yeah, I bet so. Let's scoop up the rest of the dirt. Let's put a block of something in here. There we go, that works for now. And let's make this village a slightly nicer place. So, right now, there's just a big mess over here. But I can fix that mess, because I am your big, strong man, internet. I'll tell you that things that don't seem possible are possible. Like, the real world is filled with, like, you know, real trade-offs between things that you probably want and other things you probably want. And so instead of saying, like, oh, yeah, the world is filled with, like, tricky decisions to be made. No. No tricky decisions to be made in this world. It's there are just bad people out there who specifically want you to have to make those trade-offs so that they can enjoy sipping their champagne. You heard it here first, chat. I know this firsthand because I am one of those people. Wait, that would make me bad. I was secretly pretending to be one of those people so that I could share their secrets with you. Yeah, that's a pretty compelling story, huh? I think I'm going to move the door a block to the left. Or I could just, like, tunnel through here and then make an extra block deep here. I think that's the easiest thing to do. Let's just make an extra block over here. And yeah, that looks like it's entirely fine. And now this whole thing connects into that whole thing, and we just have to work out how to seal this off. A couple blocks there, a couple blocks there. It's a very ugly house that I would love to do something about, but I'm also happy doing nothing. Also, this looks fine, and this looks forgivable. I think we should maybe just move this whole wall one block forward. No one would even notice that anything was weird. And I think it makes the house look more normal. Yeah, this is a weird remnant from the days where doors used to define villages. And so I just have so many doors in my village chat. Maybe too many doors. I might be better off just sealing this off and hoping no one pays any attention to it. I think that's what I'll do. I think I'll just remove this door. I'll put it with all the rest. Like, door over here. Oh, that's not. You know, we'll put this over here too. Perfect. Double door. And then we'll take some extra wood, which I definitely have in this chest somewhere. And we'll just fix this up. Perfect. No one will suspect a thing, chat. No one will suspect a single thing. you could never be a bad person. Exactly, Rebecca White. I have never done a bad thing in my life. And if someone says I've done a bad thing, that's a sign they're a bad person. Follow that logic perfectly. But no, I think the way we like see we want there to be something that is all powerful, and it's really nice if there is, because genuinely there is a calming effect from, again, if you look at life as like, okay, so you can decide to be an astronaut or you can decide to be a data entry scientist. One of those jobs is going to be a lot harder than the other. One of them is going to be a lot more fun. There's all sorts of benefits and downsides of doing one job over the other. And ultimately, like, you might get to the end of your life one day and be like, I think I wish I'd done the other one. You know, that's a real, that's the thing that happens to some people. It's not nice to admit. We like to believe the fairy tale stories, because they're much better. Whereas the real world is filled with, yeah, sometimes, you know, like the number of stories you'll hear about, like, oh yeah, this person saved their entire life, looking forward to retirement. You know, they've got a bunch of savings, and then, you know, hit by a car, first week of retirement. All that money they saved forever for, gone. Or, you know, like, the point is where, so if you say, like, okay, I've got two career paths, two career options available, you can learn about all the benefits, the downsides, the trade-offs, etc. But at some point, you've got a really scary decision, which is like, I have to decide, and you really do have to decide at some point, which of these things I want to do. Because by doing the other, I'm locking myself out of doing that. It's one of the scary things about money, right? And being an adult is anytime you spend money on something, you can't spend money on everything else. And so at some point, if you have to make that decision, wouldn't it be better though if it wasn't a decision? If there was like an objective right path that, like, oh yeah, it's not that you shouldn't become an astronaut because it'd be harder on you, you'd spend more time away from home. You shouldn't become an astronaut because you're not meant to be an astronaut. You are meant to help the world in this way. Like, a story helps you, you know, like, the one thing that helps you decide between two equally good options. Like, oh yeah, the salmon and the chicken, they both cost the same at a restaurant. You like them roughly the same. But then someone says, oh yeah, did you know salmon has a bunch of mercury in it? And it's actually true, you know. Chicken has, I'm sure, some equally, you know, terrible backstory. But, like, someone says that to you, and you're like, oh, so I'll get the one without the mercury. Awesome. This is why we love recommendations so much, and why we love any bit of certainty in a world that is filled with not just... Also, a new Toy Cat video just dropped. Hey! That's exciting. Okay. Yeah, I'm not supposed to be doing this, but hear me out. I'm supposed to be doing my hear me out list, but I forgot every hear me out on my list. That's an interesting sounding list, Rose Pentacle. I hope you're okay. Hope someone hears you out. Free mercury, you say? I wish I had some raw salmon right now. Yeah, you know what I'm eating right after the stream, Dasher. You know what's going on in my life. I mean, maybe you don't actually, but now you do. Okay, let's take all of the bamboo. Let's throw it into this chest. I'm gonna take the string out of this actually. I've been meaning to move that string somewhere anyway. So let's put it where it needs to be put. So yeah, one of the chicken has lots of sadness and captivity. Yeah, there is a real like ethical concern to be made there too. So like, if you actually write down the pros and cons of eating the salmon or eating the chicken, you'll sit there endlessly. And so the thing that helps you, like, the thing that actually solves that is what what we could call narratives. We love to tell stories, because stories have clear conclusions. Stories cut through the brutality of the real world, and how, like, oh yeah, well, you know, the salmon is going to be slightly worse for you in the short term. The chicken's going to be slightly better for you in the long run. But actually, both of them have, like, you know, negative effects on, you know, like, your soul, you know, the well-being of, you know, that stuff, because, you know, you are ultimately contributing to, you know, more... Okay, so put that there, put these there. I'm going to do this a few more times. Going to just, like, remove this for now. And just do it two blocks of lava at a time. That seems like a reasonable number to start with. And so now 2 more blocks. 1 and a 2, and a lava, and a lava, and a glass, and oh, glass. And so yeah, we're just going to get all the lava in here first, and we can ask all the other questions later. So lava here. I guess honestly, I should go to the other place and do it, because that's where all the lava's been growing, but I'm committing to do it this way. So that's the way we're going to do it. And perfect. Look at this. Isn't this so lovely, chat? So now I will actually go check out the rest of the lava, because I do want to at least have one patch of this that looks normal, so that the concept looks good, so that people can just about see it. Why can't you just get lava from the nether, says Mallow Cream. So getting lava from the nether makes sense for medium-sized projects. If you wanted 100 lava, it'd be so much faster to just take it from where the lava is right now than to do what we're doing here. But the reason that it makes sense is because we need like 1,000, and we need it in lots of different places at lots of different times. Lava doesn't stack, so you have to bring, say, 10 shulker boxes full of buckets just to get 270 buckets. And that's not enough for me, so I need, say, 40 shulker boxes full. And at that point, that's multiple inventories, that's lots of shulker boxes. I have the ability to make it, but then I've got like a whole messy inventory problem. And so my solution to the messy inventory problem is to not, I guess. But yeah, let's move all of these lavas into my existing little farm. Should be nice and easy, nice and chill. Throw this one. I guess we should start filling on that side too. Because now we're making it way harder for ourselves to like ever put the lava in here. So just... Okay, let's do it. 1 lava over there. 2 lava over here. Grab another lava real quick before things go bad. And then... Boom. I guess that's what I can just do on both sides. Is I can use my lava 2 at a time. Maybe more than 2. 3 at a time. And fix our problems that way. So we need to have 3 lava here. Or maybe I could just break this since I need to go here anyway. So I'll go... Oh, right. Big problem. Okie dokie. Okay, just a little bit of fire. Add a little bit of fire to my life. I don't see why that's a bad thing. So now we'll break this block and this block and put a lava there and put a lava there and then glass and then run away. Did I put the glass in time? It looks like I didn't. I put the glass where the lava was. I negated some of my own progress using my very, very valuable lava. What a shame that is. So then we'll do this again, but making sure that we get it this time. So lava there, glass there. Yeah, I think I could be wrong, and I definitely am on fire. But I think that's now a whole row of this, which means that we just throw in another set of cauldrons. We should get very, very close to the point where there's always lava producing itself. But I still think we need an extra row over here too. So we'll put some... We'll remove a ceiling worth of blocks. Oh, the ceiling goes up out here. That's something I didn't consider properly. So we'll remove this many blocks at least. Assuming we can, and we can. And we'll have that many... Then we'll put some blocks in over here. We'll use dirt, just to really reiterate that we're right next to the surface. And then we'll put some dripstones in. And we'll just have a few extra lava buckets. Maybe it makes a difference, maybe it doesn't. But it'll be nice to have anyway. So yeah, I think I've been thinking a lot about like how we sometimes are communicating and like entirely having to like shoot different meshes across. And I think that having a nice easy solution to the world is just such a good thing for so many people, right? Just, you know, like what if all your complexity went away and there was a person who's like, oh yeah, I've worked out the problem. Even if you think there's only a 10% chance that person knows the problem, wouldn't a 10% chance be better than 0? And that's the dumbest thing about the whole, like, oh, I like the person who lets me believe, is that, you know, it's like the joke about, like, Pascal's wager, right? Even if you didn't have any Christian faith, if you didn't have any concept of thinking, like, yeah, there's probably, like, you still should follow the rules of Christianity or whichever the most dominant religion is in the world. You should still follow the rules on the off chance they're correct. Because if you follow the rules of religion and you're wrong, okay, you get the same outcome as everyone else. You don't follow the rules of religion and it's right, and you are eternally damned. You know, that's one of the rules. It's called Pascal's wager, and it's the most, you know, like on a game theory set of logic, it's correct. I think to most people, it's just like, yeah, if there's a chance, you do it. If there's not a chance, there's not. You know, it doesn't matter what the actual odds are. If it feels like a real possibility, then you can imagine it, and it feels so much more real than if there's not a real possibility, at which point you don't imagine it, because it's all fake anyway, so why would you even bother? I'm going to go ahead and throw this and that and that in there. I'm just going to make all the signs I can and just pile them high. It's only 64 signs. Not as many as I was hoping for. And then I think I probably should have this lava go a little bit further that way, but I think I want to have a hard ceiling on this before I go too deep, just in case the glass doesn't go the way I want it to go. Assuming following the rules is what is needed for salvation. Yeah, there is also a third possibility. Simon Burgett. By the way, I noticed you tipped on a stream recently. It's one of those old school names I'm really happy to hear. So good to see you. But I love whenever we have like a, you know, I like that we're getting new subscribers again as a channel. That's fun too. But I also love I love seeing some regulars here, and it's a fun reminder that like on the internet my biggest fear is that everyone stops caring, and it is a inevitable fear, perhaps you could say. But it's also I don't like that these are all just like slightly out of sync, slightly off kilter. But what can we do about it? Yeah, there is a third possibility, which is like all religions are correct, but we're doing it wrong, you know? And I think that's a really intriguing situation, because, you know, like, if you think about a legal case, if you really try hard to follow the law, but then you don't anyway, then usually you get like a little bit of like more lenient treatment than if you don't, right? If you clearly try to disregard the law and you didn't try to act like a courteous person, then even if a judge doesn't, like take your case worse, like a jury is going to look at you much less favorably. Is I guess my basic point. And so, if you, and as someone who's been a jury recently, let me tell you, interesting time. So, if there is religion, there's a real chance we're getting it all wrong, right? That if there is a, there is a real chance that the God from the Mormons, the Latter-day Saints, have got it exactly perfect in terms of who God is, what he does, etc., etc., etc. But they're way off on what he wants us to do. He's like, no, I specifically want you to drink caffeine every single day. I created this drug that would allow you to worship me better, and I want you to take it every day without fail. And if you don't do that, then I can't. You know, if you won't drink the spicy juice for me, what will you do for me? You know, maybe he's like that. Yeah, it's like, my point is the there is if you concede a possibility of because most people are either like full faithful or like not faithful, that there is enough evidence, I guess you could say. If you're somewhere between those two, you could say, yeah, well, if there's any chance that something is real, there's also a chance that we're massively wrong. Like, we understand gravity, and we've understood gravity long before we understood that it was the force of the Earth going around the sun, or rather, the Earth going around the sun is gravity, the same way that me throwing my phone in the air right now is this is the same thing that makes the sun go up and down. That we did not understand that forever, but we still understood gravity, right? We still got it. If God, but yeah, it's I'm sorry, we accidentally did one of the free no-nos in the stream. No religion, no politics, no Star Wars. So yeah, I think I'm gonna also work out what to do with this part of the river, by the way, chat. I've left a wet sponge in here for years, just as proof that I did drain a river. I can't get rid of it. If there were multiple wet sponges, maybe that'd be an idea. I could like lower the river massively, or I could like fill the bottom with, or actually that'd be fun, chat. What if I fill it with like blue wool, or like lapis lazuli, or I feel like blue dye is really easy to come by, right? Yeah, it is. What would be the objectively funniest block to fill this with? Blue glass. Yeah, because as you can see, the river goes like some interesting places. You can tell some really odd things about this world, but you can definitely tell there was a river there. What are wet spungies, sorry. Been a while since I caught a stream. Glad to be here, says Bryce Nafziger. Nafziger. Nafziger? Nafziger. Thank you very much. Yeah, I think one of the things that I think I'm very like different to most people in my generation in terms of like my beliefs are more or less like there are lots of people who genuinely believe there are lots of people who believe that it doesn't matter what your intent is, it matters what your actions are, you know, like and I think that is really ridiculous. Like and like, you know, like there's a bunch of firm rules that people create to show like, oh yeah, if your intentions are good, you can follow. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Okay, I made it. I'm fine. Bit dramatic over nothing, but hope you understand. I'm gonna place lava on a row of blocks next to each other. So like there, that's good for lava. There, that's also good for lava. I'm just gonna try and work out the good patches to place it so that we can connect both sides and get like a nice little baked bean lake going on. Make blue out of the blue glazed terracotta. Ooh, blue glazed terracotta. That's a compelling pitch right there. Okay, let's grab another bucket. We're just gonna try and get some semblance of like a project, because I feel like what always helps with projects like this is seeing some small version of it, so you can be like, oh yeah, we're just trying to do like that. So I bet the reason that this isn't filled in is because the actual sign is like here. So if I place some lava there, it goes nowhere. If we place it over here, it goes nowhere. If we place it over there, it goes nowhere. We just wasted 3 lava and we achieved nothing, chat. So why is this one flowing? Is it coming from here?
The only thing needed for salvation is follow and accepting Jesus. God knows we can't follow all of the rules without failing. That's why Jesus died for us. I'm a Christian BTW smile.
So I think this is kind of back to my point of like, some people are like, oh yeah, I'm not down with the concept of anyone who is religious because, you know, I know that that's not okay. And I feel like there's a bit more of a room of like, oh no, they're in the same way that there are people who try to, so I don't know if I want to have leather workers in here. I love the discount that I'm getting on, that's actually such a good discount. That's such a good deal, chat. I think, like, right now I sell books to villagers for emeralds. This is selling books to villagers and skipping the middleman. I don't need any paper for this. And I can buy all the leather pants that are dyed that I want. Oh, that's tempting. That's real tempting. It's hard to follow the rules of society because sometimes I don't understand them, says Ash Starlight. See, here's the question, right? Is that the same as not following because you don't believe in them, right? You don't get that many atheists speaking about Jesus. Yeah, you might do. Anyway, so we've accidentally gone religion, chat. So, what's your favorite color? You need to let me know right now. What's your favorite color, chat? But yeah, there's like all sorts of ways in which I think people who really mean incredibly well can end up. Okay, so I have to place lava like there at some point, right? And that'll hopefully fill in this gap and maybe this one too if I'm lucky. I'm not lucky. So yeah, my current lava pit is looking a little bit sad. Blue, cyan. So let's just go back to placing more signs. I think I'm going to fill the entire thing in this way. Just so I can know I've got one part of the project that's finished and relies on the rest. My favorite color is the color just blue. That sounds like a weird vegan alternative to the concept of blue. Not entirely against it. I'm just mentioning for the sake of mentioning. So, red all the way. I'm totally not a vampire. You know, if you weren't a vampire, if you were a vampire, that would explain why you don't follow society's rules. Which, you know, so I recently watched a vampire show. I think it's a very, like, teenage girl thing to watch vampire shows. But I recently channeled my inner teenage girl. It was called Interview of a Vampire. And I thought it was interesting because I've got this problem. I'm sure you're aware of it. I like to like meta-analyze things a bit. I don't like just to see what the thing is. You know, like again, people are always saying things, but underneath what you're saying, you're always saying something else. You know, like I'm sure I think that's very interesting. That like even when someone is saying like I don't know, like I was just mentioning, if someone's actually yelling racial slurs, they probably don't actually think, or you know, whatever slurs you're thinking of. They're probably not actually thinking to themselves like, yeah, I really hate these people and what it is. They've just worked out like, this is how I get people's pain points. People respond to me so much more. There's this fun rule on the internet of like, if you want to get people to answer your question, don't ask a question. If you ask a question on the internet, people don't want to help you. But if you talk about how you've done the wrong solution, like, you know, tell people how you've done something that's definitely right, but it's perfectly wrong. There's something in our biology, something in our brain, that there's something inside of us that just when someone is wrong, we have to correct them. I don't know why this is true. I don't know if this is a subsect of human beings thing, but like being wrong on the internet is something that just like it just activates people in this wild way. And so I think similarly, like there are some people who realize like, man, when I talk about my struggles, no one cares. But if I talk about my struggles and then add in some incendiary language, people care a lot. This is one of the things I realized after. So Twitter, formerly known as X, that's the way around. It has monetization enabled now. So just like YouTube, you can earn money from posting on there. It's really sad. There's a lot of people I've seen who are like, they're thinking it is going to be like the next YouTube. So they're like, yeah, I reply to everyone all the time. I post the most political rage bait I can every day that I can. Every day that I can, I try to do it. Like it's interesting to me how, you know, like how committed some people are to the thing. But it's like they pay very, very, very little. So you need to get a lot of views. Like, I think 1 million views is about $1. Maybe it's about 10. Actually, I can check. I think it's like 5 million views is $10, actually. Because I know you need 5 million views just to break even. Because they force you to pay if you want to get paid, by the way. It's a, you know, tell me something about real life, you know. But anyway, it's the actually instinct, says Dasher. Also, I saw a video on the psychology of correcting people. It was fascinating. No, you didn't. Sorry, that's the best joke I've got in response right there. Hope you like it, Cat. But yeah, we're all like wired in different ways, and so a lot of people have realized like, okay, so if 1 million tweet views is worth $2, I think I just did the maths. Yeah, 5 million is 10, so 1 million is 2. So if you want to make like 1,000, you need to get billions. You need to get hundreds of millions of tweet views multiple times a month. And so as people are trying to work out, how do you become that engaging? Okay. As people are all trying to work it out together, the one thing everyone agrees on, the one big like shared agreement seems to be that, yeah, if you post things that are just a little bit, you know, when you post things that make people rage, that's for the best. It can be about basically anything. But if you if you say things that are so like, when someone is wrong and they disagree with you, that's engaging and thoughtful, but you're not going to actually think about it for that long. Like if you think, I don't know, like let's pick a long-standing debate. Do you think that schools should teach general skills? You know, like how to cook an egg, or do you think they should focus on knowledge, facts, if you will? That's one of the like big debates of our time. No one talks about it because it's not political. Thankfully, we haven't found a way to make that political yet. But you know, like effectively, that's all politics really ever boils down to. It's the most interesting bits of politics are how can we disagree about big fundamental issues in ways where we can think like, man, how could anyone disagree with me? And then you find the most like rage-inducing part of the take, and I think that's kind of it. So elongated muskrat must be getting lots of money from his own tweets. I think I'll concede this is an opinion. It's an opinion I read from the Financial Times doing like a deep dive into how different social media companies handled the election. And interestingly, because of what happened in 2016, both Brexit and with Donald Trump, Facebook got in a lot of trouble from like basically everyone. And so Facebook tried to play less election content during the election season. In a weird way, that actually like, there's a fun thing about how that is that you are to some extent interfering with the election when you stop interfering with the election. Just a weird observation, right? Like everyone and their uncle post things on Facebooks, and so your election content was slightly deprioritized this election on Facebook, whereas there was one social media that put a lot more effort into it, and it's something you can see if you look at Twitter. It's like their big move is to try and have as much of this on other platforms as possible too. As other elections. They're trying, every election they want you to be talking about on X. And so, like every other country that, Twitter, X, the Elon Musk website does well in, every other country that it does well in, he's trying to like stoke a little bit of populism, a little bit of like, rage about that country on the website. In effect saying like, yeah, I want people to be angry at their democracy because it's really good for the little social media site that I own. Schools should actually teach general life skills because unfortunately a lot of parents don't. Yeah, there's a... So, without diving too deep into my full opinions as someone who's not a parent, so I can't like... I feel like your... Like, children are like a whole thing. They're like... They see... There's a whole like world of things happening. There's children or like parent-only social media networks, right? Like there's a... It's like when you realize there's like Christian-only dating websites. You're like, or like farmers only. That's the funniest one. Like there's websites just for farmers to meet other farmers, right? It's a type of person that needs to do some, that needs to date too. And so it's a similar thing with like, there's parents who specifically only want to talk to other parents because in the same way that like YouTubers talk about equipment and people who really like Minecraft need the Minecraft forum. That might be gone now. Or they need the Minecraft subreddit. Or, Minecraft YouTube channels. A lot of you love having people who share an interest in Minecraft here in this place, right? People who complain about how they don't teach you how to do taxes and why we need to teach more self-teaching and independent learning skills in school. Yeah, that Hexteron, that's my actual opinion is like, there's like I think there's a trifecta. So on the one hand, let's just say, to really simplify a really complicated topic, let's just say there's good parents and bad parents. I think there are some benefits to being raised like a wolf. I think there are benefits to like leaving a child and say, work it out, I'll feed you. Like you can't neglect a child's basic needs. But I think like intellectual stimulation or like, teaching. I think teaching is it's a much less essential need, right? It's more of this will help you later on in life. But if you learn the exact same things that everyone else is learning, I think you actually get some negative effects from that too. So anyway, controversial opinion, but like, so if you say that there are parents who teach their kids how to do things and there are parents who don't, if you just simplify the whole thing down to that, then if you are teaching your kids how to do things, it's wasted. You don't want schools to teach you the same things you just taught your kids, right? So if you teach your children how to make a cup of tea, what's the point in the school teaching you how to make a cup of tea? Like your child's time is being wasted because other people's parents are bad. So what's the solution to that? Well, the solution to that is you teach children effectively self-learning skills. You teach them like, how do you learn things yourself? Because I think that's the... the first time you realize that any problem you have, I think nowadays it might be like you go on social media or chat GPT, but like, when you first realized if you knew how to Google, if you can ask Google the right question, you can learn so much more than learning the thing itself. Like if I teach you right now what the capital of Azerbaijan is, it's Baku by the way, it's a lovely place. You know, they're currently holding a climate summit over there, I think. But if I teach you the capital of Baku, the capital of Azerbaijan, is Baku, and then it's like, okay, that's a fact. But if I teach you how to Google, oh yeah, did you know every country has a capital? And in the case of Azerbaijan, it's Baku. Then now you know, oh, if I Google, when you learn about a new country, when you learn about Uzbekistan for the first time, I just saw ads for them on the tube. They have the weirdest. They've got this like vibe that they're like a 2000 like, you know, like they're like, if you want to book tickets with us, email us saleslondon@uzbekistanairways.com. It was the goofiest thing. So anyway, if you want to learn the capital of Uzbekistan, you can Google that, right? And so like learning how to Google, it's the kind of like teach a man, give a man a fish, or teach a man to fish. The most valuable thing is teaching a man to fish. The most valuable thing. I think I should fill this in. I think this being extra deep provides no value to anyone. And so I'll just use some glass. And I'll do that. Maybe. Yeah, we'll just... No, we have to remove some of these signs, which is fine. We'll put glass there. Glass here. Just glass the whole thing off, and then we can... Like, so at some point in the future, it'll be a fun little quirk of the world, I guess. So, glass down there, glass down there, glass down here. We're going to use all the glass, but we need a lot of glass anyway where we're going. We've got a lot of Uzbek immigrants here, fun fact. You know, Dasher, I'm actually not surprised in the slightest. It'd be like being surprised. Like, I have a friend, and he tried to play it off as a joke, but I have a friend who's like, you know, not the most traveled person in the world, like... his idea of traveling is usually like, I don't know, like he likes a good all-inclusive or something like that. He wants to go to Spain where the weather's good. Like there are different reasons to travel. But so we went to Malaysia, which is like a former UK colony, and he's like, man, it's a weird coincidence that they drive on the same side of the road as us. And it's like, yep, that's just a coincidence. You know, the fact that the UK and Malaysia drive on the same side of the road, there is no other fact linking that together. But like, there's a lot of coincidences like that, and I felt like similarly, like, oh, what a weird coincidence. Russia and Uzbekistan have a lot of shared history. Well, that's odd. Interesting how that can be true. I sure wonder where that all comes from. Uzbekistan immigrants to the United States a lot. I don't think they do. I bet there's just a lot of Uzbekistani people. I doubt it's that high on like a per capita level. Maybe I'm wrong, actually. Oh, no! Oh, my controller died! This has been happening more and more. It's like micro dying. It's like turning off for just a second. I'm glad I'm not doing the 100-day thing today. That could have gone horrific for me. So, Kat, you in the mood to do your Ancient City hardcore tonight, says Crystal Maps? Yeah, I wanna... So, so, chat, let me give you a little update, if you want. A little life update. I've been trying to be a bit more healthy in general. One of the things I'm like extra aware of is like I want to be physically able when I'm older. I know thinking about when you're older is like a grim thought on a lot of levels to a lot of people, but like it's something I have been thinking about. It's like, yeah, like being active is important to me, because like being able to go and do like I heard a story from like a friend of a friend of a friend recently, but that like and it's something that I can tell from my real life. Like I went on a trip with some I'll give the most direct story I have. I went on a trip with some Americans once. They were large. Yeah, just they were they were young 20s, like 23, 24. But they're like double the size of me. You know, they were you know, they were sizable. Is that, you know, whatever the polite terminology is. They weighed more than the average person weighs. I can't believe, how did that lava go nowhere? Is there something wrong with the way I'm placing this lava sometimes? Because it feels like there is. It feels like it's seemingly random where the lava is or isn't going. So we'll place some lava here. Oh, is that the right level? It is. Okay, that's good. So we're slowly but surely getting the surface of the lava river. Rare instance of Toy Cat thinking about future Toy Cat. But yeah. So but like they were larger Americans and they were you know like that was chill. But it meant like so it was a 5-minute walk from the hotel to where we were, and they're like, we're gonna need to Uber, and I was like, oh, but it's like 5 minutes. I'm sure you could walk it. And they're like, no, we really think we're gonna have to Uber this one. And I was like trying to explain to me, like I walk like an hour and a half to school. I was like, oh, I think they really think that I'm exaggerating. Like when I say 5 minutes, it's like, yeah, it's like less than 15. It's like, no, it's 5. Like and then like one of my other American friends was like, oh, just so you understand, Tarkat. He didn't sound like this, but I had to do this to him. Just so you understand, actually, they're a little bit overweight, so they find it harder to walk places. And I was like, oh, so you are, like, that is a level of overweight where you're just disabled, right? That is, and, like, ignoring, like, the overweight part of it, because, like, that's a thing, you know, like, you get value on the way up or down from that, maybe. But there's a scary part of, like, I love the story start of you calling them fat for a couple of minutes. Yeah, I was trying to work out a sensitive way to do it, and I think I accidentally just went massively insensitive, which is the valuable lesson, I guess, to take from that. But it's like, yeah, you, if you can't, like, it feels like the least of your problems, but to me, I'm like, oh, that is a problem on top of all of the other problems. You have a ton of things you have to deal with, and then on top of that, getting places is hard. And that was where it like hit me of like, I need to be able to like keep my function, because you know a lot of people like just like as you get old, you naturally get frail. When I was like 5, this is like I think this might be one of the things I felt guiltiest about in my life chat. Do you want to hear a confession? When I was 5, I was playing football with my brother, like, we were, like, kicking the ball as we're, like, walking through the park. And I kicked the ball through my grandmother's legs. And as it went through her legs, she tripped. Like, already, you're not feeling good about that one, right? But she fell, and then she's, like, on the ground and just, like, cries for help. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's extra bad. And I think I don't know what she broke. If I'm being honest, I actually don't know what she broke. But she broke something such that she needed like crutches for a while, right? Like something broke as a result of falling there. And I was like, surely at age 50, it would have been like late 40s, early 50s. Surely at age like 53 or whatever, one fall doesn't make you like that. And I'm like, oh, I fall all the time. That is what I am doing throughout my life. And I realized that, like, the moment you lose mobility, it's, like, near impossible to get it back. It's like it's a one-way street, right? You never, generally speaking, you never become more mobile. Like, it's very, very hard, at least. Like, it's a whole process that, like, consumes your life, if you are lucky. And to most people, they just slowly, like, accept it. They're just like, oh, yeah, this is just how things are. Just at some point, you stop being able to walk as well. Oh, that sucks, I guess, but what are you going to do about it? But to me, it's like, okay, I need to, like, I kind of see it as, like, imagine you've got, like, rent to pay every month, or a mortgage, or bills, or whatever the case. That kind of story would haunt me for the rest of my life. Yeah, I think it took a long time to stop thinking about that and being like, I can tell it in good heart now, but I feel like it's not a story that I feel. I don't know. I try to be the person that's like, okay, there's got to be some positive takeaway from every negative, right? And the takeaway from that is like, man, it sucks that it happened, but you need to make sure that we're in a position where that does not happen again. One of those is like, okay, treat like be extra cautious around people of a slightly older age like that. But the other part is like, okay, that is the other part of it is like, okay, yeah, you're like 5. You didn't know. You weren't like setting the button that was like, you weren't deliberately like, I think I should break my grandmother's legs
Here
today.
is my taxes. Thank you for your streams, Toy Cat. I really enjoy them and always look forward to the next one.
Thank you. I really appreciate it, Bird for Life. I'm glad you enjoy the streams. Yeah, I'm gonna be my great grandma lived to 105. She did 100 sit-up and leg lifts every night till about 98 to keep limber. Man, that's crazy. I think that is like if you ever like talk to old people or like, you know, have interviews done with like super old people, like 100 something. It's weird. The common theme always seems to be, oh, pillager aid. Don't mind if I do, I guess. I mean, we might as well. He's right over here. But yeah, like if you ever like, I've tried to do this before. Like I like most people do, where it's like, what do old people actually do to make it to 100? Because and you know, the actual conclusion, by the way, is like, oh yeah, if you don't get to decide how many years you live, no matter how great you choose to, like you don't get to decide. But you can decide to live your life so poorly that making it to 80 is like winning the lottery, right? You can choose to live a life that way, or you can choose to live a life where making it to 80 is your expected outcome, where it requires a freak event, not winning the lottery freak, but rolling a 1 on a dice freak event to not make it to 80. So the thing I was saying about trade-offs is like not eating a chocolate biscuit today, or eating like, okay, eating 1 chocolate biscuit, nah, it's probably fine. It probably has no impact on your overall life relative to everything else you do. Eating 10 chocolate biscuits, yeah, if you do that every day, that's probably going to eventually shorten your life. Like the amount of, that's like too much sugar for your system to really process in any meaningful way. So either you're going to start getting rid of it in unhealthy ways, or your body's just gonna, you know, like make you become diabetic, which makes you rely. Like, you know, there's a lot of negative effects that you can have from doing that every day. If you eat 100 chocolate biscuits every day, then it's like, yeah, just the calories, just the energy you're putting into your body, you are going to, you know, like gain some extra weight, and that extra weight is going to, you know, cause problems on your, like your muscles might be so strong, but if you're like, it's, you know, you're gonna ask them to lift way more weight. And so, you know, your muscles need to be 2 times as strong now that you're 2 times as heavy, and they likely won't be 2 times as strong. And also, shush, I'm on my 9th gingerbread cookie. Just don't eat the 10th dasher. That's all I'm saying. Just don't eat the 10th. And so it's the same with like healthy decisions, right? Like, if I do what's one exercise I can do without sitting up? If I do 1 yawn, oh, my controller died. No, it didn't. It just pretended it did. Okay, I'll do what's this? This is an exercise, right? Like is that an exercise? I feel like this is an exercise. If I do 1 of those, okay? If I do 1 little whatever that was, probably doesn't make an impact. Like it might make me feel good. The feeling is going to be way more important than the reality on that one. If I do 10 of those a day, that might extend the durability of my limbs a little bit. If I do 100 of those a day, then like, okay, you know, that's almost certainly going to add to something good. And that's kind of the thing you realize of like good and bad things is like, what's way more important than if you do them once or twice is if you make them habit. It's a stretch, says Chantel X Lee. I don't think it's a stretch to call that an exercise. Don't excuse you. Are you going to do a hardcore Bastion, Toy Cat? Yeah, Griff Pollard. I did the most incredible hardcore Bastion recently. I think I did. I think I was very impressed by it, to say the least. I am warning you, says... Okay. But the weird thing is, once you're in your early 90s, your chance of dying in that specific year stops going up. Oh, is that true? I remember my favorite thing is, it's the actuary chart of, like, what are your odds of making it to the next year? Because, like, that's what life insurance really needs to know. Because your life expectancy goes up every year you survive. Like, that's logical, but you don't think about it. Your life expectancy at birth is 83. Your life expectancy at 29 might be 87 or whatever it is. You know, like, based on your country. I don't know the rates of alcoholism or whatever else is killing people. But, I think I'm going to trade with that villager. I think I'm going to give him my leather, and I'm going to get some emeralds in return. Worst case, I need the leather later, and I regret this. Best case, I don't need the levelator, and I have no regrets. I think I can live on that best case scenario. So let's go 3 buckets again. Let's just do it looks as though it is growing at a pretty fast rate. Even with literally 12 cauldrons, we're getting to the point now where I'm like, filling in most of the spots here. Working out which ones aren't filled is a bit of a chore. I should pick some more consistent method. But it seems to be working. It seems to just about be working. So then we'll start on the other side. So I don't know how these are working. Oh, I've got cauldrons. That's how. It's like I didn't recall setting up a proper farm there. So now we fly to this side. I get burnt a bit, but it's fine. Yeah, I have armor with all this stuff on for a reason. And then I'm going to fill in the holes a bit more on this side, I guess, logically. So right here needs a lava. Right there needs some lava. Right there. I think that's the best way to do it, is do it in nice rows. Because then the rows are easy to see relative to everything else. So this is what it will look like. And now, chat, I'm going to do something fun. I'm going to do something just a little bit different. I'm going to make a copy of the world. And we're going to remove the first sign to see if it works correctly. So here is my Let's Play world. Let's Play, edit world, backup, download it. It's 1,000 megabytes, and the odds for actually downloading are like 2 in 5. But will be great. Ugh, just because someone made drink in my eye. I've been anorexic, I've been overweight. Your size doesn't always equal health, and BMI is a crock. Oh yeah, I guess that was my real point under it. Is like, yeah, if you've doubled your weight, then you're doubling the amount your muscles need to be strong. If you more than double your muscle size, like, you know, I still don't get it, but I'll concede that it's true. Like, if you ever like look at a bouncer, they can be like double as big as me, but everyone's like, wow, that's a strong dude. And I'm like, I can't tell the difference between muscle and fat on a person visually, like I think the world does. I remember I feel like there are some things. Also, evening bestie officially. Sorry I'm late. Video called my child. Oh, congratulations. I don't video call anyone in my family. You know, but it seems smart. You know, if we can do like office meetings over Zoom, we should do family things over Zoom. Late to the stream, what I miss, says Brandon Gentry. I've filled in quite a bit of my lava river, and right now I'm downloading a copy of my world, just so I can see if my sign thing is working correctly. If it's not working correctly, we need to fix that, right? So we're just going to download a copy, we're just going to break that first sign, and we're going to see if the river flows down and looks fine. So, Cat, do a row of glass, place the lava next to it to remove the glass, place the next row of glass. Oh, yeah, if I place it on top. That is actually quite clever, Darren Ego. I think glass is a bad idea, but I think dirt or something would probably work. Yeah, that's really clever. I think dirt is the move. Or like deep slate, like the most valueless block that I don't mind losing to. That's a way I can use my stone. Yeah, this is just what happens. If you have too big of a world, Minecraft doesn't like when you download it, so you gotta try a different backup. And if this one also doesn't work, we'll just concede that we can't copy it today. Do you ever do a Zoom with Future Toy Cat? That's a good idea. I should Zoom Future Toy Cat. Yeah, no, I feel like one of the few things I'm like a strong believer on is I did during the pandemic, I feel like I don't know why, it's like my deepest moment of sadness where I was like, this is dumb. We are doing dumb things, and this doesn't make sense to anyone, but for some reason it has become standardized thinking. I usually have like a fairly big family Christmas, like 10, 14 people, somewhere in that region, right? And so we did a Zoom call instead, and I was like, this isn't Christmas. We can pretend it's Christmas, you know, we can we can all smile and be like, ah, happy Christmas. But it didn't feel like Christmas at all. You know, like there was a thing in there I realized, like, this isn't how meeting people is. And I feel like everyone had their own moments without that, like, way earlier than Christmas. But I think that's my, like, to my much earlier point in this live stream. I think the reason a lot of people have turned to the idea that, like, yeah, the world is run by people like me and it's terrifying, is because at least when the world is running somewhat fine, at least when you can see it's working for some group of people, some large group of people ideally, but, like, you know, when it's working for some people, you can look at the world and be like, yep, there are some decision makers in charge. Hopefully we shift their decisions. Like, I think this is to some extent what certain, you know, like, one side of the political spectrum's whole idea is like, right now, the country works for this set of people. We should make it work for this set of people because, you know, maybe they've been historically downtrodden, or maybe they're, and, you know, like, maybe the world should be more egalitarian. But, like, it's like we should shift around who the world works for. But when the world works for no one, it's like, we just need someone who can get this thing going. We need someone who doesn't look at, you know, like, you know, like the situation around the world where, like, you know, I don't know. I feel like we had, like, years of, like, flailing from major governments about and effectively achieving nothing. Even the countries that, like, everyone thought nailed it during the time, like Australia, it's like, oh yeah, no, that was just delaying it a year, and it all just happened there anyway. I wish an Irish YouTuber say she was jealous that Americans have a whole extra holiday between Halloween and Christmas. Yeah, it's Thanksgiving soon, right? It's Thanksgiving really soon. I'm gonna check my calendar. According to my calendar, oh, my calendar doesn't have Thanksgiving. According to my calendar, the last day I can use my passport is okay, that's fun. Okay, chat, this is done. This is like, it's just a realms issue. I don't know what the solution is, but I can't do what I wanted to do. Let's just jump right back onto it. Look, okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna see. Oh, yeah. We need Toy Cat's giving for those who don't have Thanksgiving. We'll give thanks to Toy Cat. That's a holiday I can get on board with, let me tell you. It's next Thursday. Happy next Thursday, everyone. Oh, so anyway, my point on this was to say, so I'm doing a couple of exercise classes, not because I think the classes themselves are handy, but because I think having a fixed commitment in my week where I'm like, I have to do it then, and it's unavoidable because I paid money to go and be there, right? I think it really helps, because whenever I do it, I used to have a gym inside my apartment when I was in Vegas, and it was really cool. You know, if you don't mind the flex, yeah, I had a gym. I think it made such a big difference to how much I was willing to go, when it wasn't like, here is a place I have to leave and spend time in outside of my home. It's like, no. Here's a place that I can, like, it's easier to go to this place than it was to go to, like, you know, the nearby Chick-fil-A or something. Like, it was the easiest decision to make myself was to go to the gym. But then I could get really good at forcing myself to go to this place every day. But I would start going for like 12 minutes and being like, well, that's good. It's better than nothing. And my body's just tired. I don't want to do this. I need someone to look at me when I say I'm tired and to be like, but you're still going to give me 20. And even, like, I want my response to be like, I'm going to do a half-ass 20. But if I do a half-ass 20, that's much better than doing no 20, right? And so I'm going to try that system. It could be that it's awful and I don't like it and I regret all my life decisions, but what would be new, am I right? I think, so that's, yeah, I think that is the smart thing to do, by the way. I'm going to test it just to make sure. But we'll do a row right here. I can tell there's definitely nothing on this set. And we're going to place our lava down. I did that wrong. Oh, it's not going to work the way I want to because it's going to go like here. But we could place it like down a block. So then here. I don't know if I'm doing that correctly at all. But, okay, this was almost a really good idea, chat. I feel like ruined by my own hubris. I take it this is why some wealthy people choose to live in hotels and such, the extra services. Yeah, I feel like that. It's really cool that you can now get the equivalent of living in a hotel while living in an apartment, and that you don't even have to, like... It's not even like, oh yeah, it's like a 1% thing. It's like, you can spend significantly less than the mortgage on a fairly sad house and live in a really nice apartment that has, like, someone who, like, you know, will do your... There was a machine in my apartment, chat. You put your clothes in it, and then that evening, they would come back dry cleaned. You obviously pay for the service, right? But the fact... I think for at a certain income level that's like surprising, like no one likes to admit it because it makes you feel like you're out of touch, but like at a certain income level, and I don't know where it is, I never did this, but like if you let's say you make like, you know, the average salary times 2. I think in the US that's only like, you know, $90,000. If you make that much a year, it's your hourly rate has to be something like 40 or 50, and so does it even make sense? I don't know if I understand. I did the maths very off the top of my head there, so I hope I'm not massively wrong with that. But I think it's going to be about, no, it's going to be like $60 or $70 an hour. So any task that you don't enjoy that also costs less than it's like, why would you do that to yourself? Besides for the sake of like, oh, I've got to prove that I'm like my grandpappy did it, and he used to clean all his laundry. I never paid for delivery service or a private chef. I'd eat way healthier. It's all about the convenience. Yeah, it's about stacking your life so that the easy decision is the right decision. Because at some point, not even easy, but like time-wise, right? Like, everyone has a limited amount of time. And so you have to decide, like, if I was going to do this exercise class 3 times a week for the rest of my life, I'm giving up 3 hours a week, every week, forever. 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 You know how many weeks there are in the rest of my life? Hopefully, thousands. Hopefully, you know, thousands of hours that I'm spending, you know, in a room where someone just tells me what to do. That's awful. That's a terrible quality of life downgrade. But if it was the easiest thing to do and it's like a part of my routine and I enjoy it, then that's good. And so the same thing is like food, like cooking. Even if you know that cooking is healthier, it's like, but cooking sucks sometimes. Sometimes you're not in the mood. You just don't have the energy or whatever. And so in those times, I don't think that it is the logical and right thing to do. Economic specialization, says really rich people should not do basic things to enhance productivity. Yeah, as a society even. You're right, like I think this is where it gets a little bit like, some people are like, nah, I don't even care about the facts behind it. I'm just angry. But it's like, you don't want the CEO of Disney, you know, when the CEO of, like, let's pick a really boring company. The CEO of Walmart, if he makes an optimization that improves that business by 5% this year, yeah, we could say lowers prices, but let's be honest, improves profitability 5% and so delivers higher returns to shareholders, that's what's actually going to happen, then it's like, okay, now every shareholder makes 5% more money. And it's like, imagine if he does that idea, he has double the chance of pulling that off if he doesn't do his own cleaning or eating. And if, I think I could be right, I think that the Walmart family is still owned by, Walmart is still owned by the family. And so it's like, that, the amount of money they have means it is negligible. It's a decision about whether they do or don't. You want them to you know, instead of making some ridiculous amount per hour, like $274,000 per hour, if you equate their shares increase in value into things, it's like there needs to be a really good reason for them to do something that isn't their work, or relaxing, or recovering from that same work. Every hour they are not doing that work is a huge loss to every single shareholder, which then, because of how many things are invested in shares, is it's like there is a real argument, and it's not a nice one to make, because you want the world to be a place where it's like, no. There's no like, everyone's time is worth the same amount. It's the one thing. It's the one way in which we're all true equals. If you get a person who's like a billionaire, but they're like 60 years old, and you say, yeah, you could give, if it's a one-time deal, you know, God comes down from the heavens and he's like, one-time deal, you have to give up all your money, but I'll give you another 40 years. they'll take that trade. You know, if you're 20 and have no money, people would spend so much money for your life, your life force. People would spend so much money to take those years away from you. So it's the one way in which we're truly egalitarian, and therefore arguing that, you know, like, the way you spend your time should be different. But it is also the way in which it's probably most important that it goes right. Came in Minecraft, got stock lessons, says Aswats. No, I'm a real big... I think this is a way in which the modern world hates you. But, like, I think the world is run by a series of explainable systems. I think those systems seem really illogical from the outside. And I see why you can look at them and say, man, I don't like these systems. But I think the world is explainable by a series of, like, system. I think the biggest one is, like, economics. No, for some reason, like, knowing that the world, you know, like, even though there are a lot of places where, like, there's some, like, shortfallings in economic understanding, because it assumes we're all rational actors all the time. It's still like, yeah, a lot of people are like, yeah, isn't it a crazy coincidence that eggs went up in price? Or even worse, in my opinion, is like, man, grocery stores sure got real greedy during times of inflation. If places just weren't so greedy, then prices would be so much lower. And it's like, do you really believe that? That just all of a sudden, you know, companies, which literally the job of a business is to make money, a brand new technique after thousands of years of optimization of the concept of exchanging goods in exchange for money, that all of a sudden, you know, the big companies of the world realized, wait, we could charge higher prices and we would make more money. That idea just came to them in a fever dream, you know. One day, what are the Walmart family actually called? I'm gonna find out his name. Walmart man. Okay, the Walmart man, his name is the Walmart founder. Sam Walton. Oh, Walmart. Walton. That's fun. It's like he worked out one day after he took a lot of DMT, and he's like, wait, cause we sell things to people, what if we sold them to people at a higher price? Then we would make more money. Oh, and they need the things, so we could just, oh man, the shareholders are gonna be so proud. And then the shareholders were like, wait, really? And then they phoned up their friends at McDonald's and they're like, hey guys, you know, you could raise prices. And they're like, wait, really? Just raise them? But like, surely, you know, people. And they're like, wait, no, you're right. People would just have to pay them. And it's like, yeah, I know. We've just worked this out. It's people will just pay any prices if it's for necessities. And it's like I on the one hand I'm like happy, like, you know, it must be so nice to have like a view of the world that is so you know, like so free of you know, corruption and so pure. But on the other hand, it's like, man. And then those people make real decisions on that. It's like, well, the reality of like, why do businesses not just raise prices all the time is one that, like, I don't understand why people don't like immediately question. It's like, wait, everyone has known since the beginning of time that the higher a price you charge for a product, the more money you make. Why do some places therefore not charge the most amount? Why do businesses not charge higher than they do? I bought this Pepsi. I mean, I bought this cup for $0, but I bought this Pepsi for about 45p. You can buy them. You can spend like £1 on them sometimes if you go to like a convenience store. You spend like £2 or £3 if you're at like a theme park line, or it can cost like 7p if you buy it in a big thing. Head of my company telling me I needed to raise my store's prices because our suppliers raised theirs. Meanwhile, I know who paid the suppliers, so I know they didn't. Yeah, I love... by the way, it sounds like your company literally was... You have a founder who's like, wait, everyone's raising prices. Let's see if we can't sneak one in there too. And that is why, if you're curious, that is one of the downsides of inflation. Like once inflation gets sticky, it causes so many problems for the world. It's because as soon as people accept that prices going up is the standard, then not rising, then like, you know, let's say you're used to every time you go to the store, prices are 5% higher than last time. Then now you'll price it into your, not just your expectations. So like, you see that milk has gone from $1 to $1.05. You're like, yeah, that's fine. You see that milk has gone from $1.05 to $1.10. You're like, that's fine. So like, there's a reason that's bad, right? And the idea is like, inflation should be seen as outrageous so that it goes away as quickly as possible. But it's like, no. The reason that you can't charge just the maximum price you think that you could get away with is because you probably won't get away with it. Probably because... I guess I'm just going to make a big pile of glass over here. And then a big pile of glass over here. And then a big pile of glass over here too. Just for fun, you know? But it's like, yeah, if your prices are so much higher than your actual costs to produce something, you know, if there is profit to... Also, is there a hole over here? It looks as though there is. Let's place a sign there. It's a bit of an ugly sign, but it seems to do the job. And then there's another sign I need to place over there somewhere. Should I place it on the side of this block? There's definitely a sign required. I just can't see where. Okay, I'm going to go down. I'm going to place the sign there. Perfect. See, easy fix. Maybe place the signs in a checkerboard pattern. Place lava in between, then gradually remove the blocks and place the rest of the lava. I think this big row of placing it against is actually kind of working. Because that way I can just check against the stone, and then we'll remove the stone and move it. And it's not the ideal. But yeah, if we'll see if it works. I need you in my life, Toycat, says Virus J. It's so yeah. If you, the actual economic theory says yeah. If you are charging $1.10 for eggs, meanwhile they can be found for $1 at the egg farm only sells them for like 60 cents. And there aren't enough overheads that you can do all of that stuff. It's like, then you make the business and you do the things, and now you are making loads of money. There are lots of other people in the world who would love to sell things to people and would like to make more money than they currently are. So yeah, if we make it into a straight line, we can see where the lava is. There's lava here, not lava here, not lava here, lava here, lava here, lava here, not lava here. And we can tell that because lava flows for 4 blocks, and so it's flowed for 4 blocks in all of those, but not in these two. Boom. $1.10 for eggs. I paid $4 for a dozen at Walmart yesterday. Oh, the cheap eggs here are like £1, like 10 for like a batch, and the expensive eggs are like probably about $4 or so if you convert to pounds. I'm amazed, amazed at the priciness of yours. Then you push out the other company too, less competition. Yeah, there's the whole thing behind Walmart in particular, like that. The whole thing he worked out is like if you scale big enough, if you sell enough things, you can sell those things individually for cheaper. If you sell 1 dozen eggs in a week, and that's your whole job, right? Is you find 1 person a week to sell a dozen eggs to, then to sustain you need to make a living wage, call it, from selling those eggs. If it takes you a full week to sell 1 dozen eggs, and you have the average cost of living, you know, let's just imagine you do, then you need to sell those eggs, like just to survive, you need to sell those eggs for like $1,000, or like, you know, actually, what's the median cost of living? Let's just say $500 a week. You need to make $500 a week from selling eggs, and you only sell 1 batch of eggs. You need to sell those eggs for $500. Or let's imagine you buy a store, and you've got rent to pay. The rent's $1,000 a month. Electricity's $100. The eggs are $1. Then you need to make $1,000. You need to sell those eggs for $1,000 just to break even, just to not lose money selling eggs. But, right, imagine, you know, there's a weird thing. So, like, and honestly, who's going to spend $1,000 on eggs? You might only get 1 customer a week. And so you can have, like, self-fulfilling prophecies in business in that way sometimes. Of, like, nah, no one wants to do this because it's too pricey and blah, 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 blah. I think I'm going to take some of my iron and turn it into... Actually, I'm gonna go check my iron farm. I feel like it's been broken for a while. But I should go give it a peek. Sorry, my poppy farm that coincidentally produces iron. Are you in the Minecraft movie? Yes, I am Steve. I am Steve. I mean, sorry, I had to make that convincing for you. But, yeah, it's like, so, like, you'd have to sell those eggs for $1,000, right? Just to break even. But, okay, get this, right? Imagine if instead of like, even though you have to spell $1,000 to break even, imagine if you worked out that more people would buy eggs if they were $10 instead of $1,000. Then you'd think to yourself, but if I only sell one set of eggs for $10, it's gonna be bad for me, right? I'm gonna lose so much money. It's gonna be rough. So have I got 7 stacks now? I've got 6. 7 stacks. That's a whole stack of cauldrons. That should keep me covered for a while. Is that exactly a stack? Yeah, it's exactly a stack. Love to see it. I need to put the string from that place somewhere. But yeah, so you sell them for $10 and you think to yourself like, oh, this is wild. I'm just gonna do it though, because you know, like, this weird economics thing tells me that it makes sense. And then way more people will stop into your eggs for $10, right? Way more people. You're gonna be selling eggs like crazy, and if you sell 100, let's say you sell us 100 times more eggs, you'll make more money selling the eggs for cheaper. And what's even crazier is if you're buying 100 times as many eggs, you can buy them from the farm from cheaper too, because like they'll sell you for cheaper per unit. Like, economies of scale has this weird effect where it makes everything down the entire supply chain cheaper. So if you can just scale up every aspect of your business, the whole thing gets cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, which is kind of nuts, really, when you think about it. The more business you do, the cheaper it can get. And so then instead of like renting a $1,000 store, you rent a whole warehouse for $10,000. You buy 10,000 sets of eggs, and now you can sell those eggs for like $1.10, and you'll still make a profit. Oh, YouTube just crashed. Are you here? And so it's like, that's the reason why lowering your prices actually can make you more money. And so the only time it actually makes sense to raise your prices are if your costs have gone up in a way that you can't recover. If you're buying the eggs at $1.30, you can never sell, if your variable costs are $1.30, to put it in other words, you can never make money selling those eggs for, okay, I need to, you can never make money selling those eggs for $1.10. Like, there's no amount of, it just isn't possible. There's no way to lower those costs in that way. The lava doesn't need to be a source to make more from dripstone, does it? I think it does. My understanding is that it does in fact need to. I could have a wrong understanding, but I don't actually know. In fact, I'm fairly sure that it has to be. It used to have to be back in the good days. Back when, you know, back when eggs used to cost $1.30 a dozen. So then, there is kind of like a negative ripple that can happen that way too, because then like, if things get more expensive, it can like ripple out that way. But so every company is always greedy. Like, if you think inflation is caused by greed, it's like, yeah, and like, but why would companies not be greedy like all the time? You know, like that's if companies are okay, should have done something about that earlier. It's a good thing I've got so many spare steaks. We'll just leave that how that is. And we've got one more bit of lava we need to throw in there, but it's fine. Our lava supply is growing at a very fast rate. I definitely can't put lava over here because it will burn the village, by the way. That's just what's going to happen if I do that. There is literally wood right next to it. I should think that through before doing it. In fact, let's test this. Let's find out for sure. Before we get all scared over nothing, let's open up a hole over here. Let's dig this out. Let's put that there. And then let's grab some glass as quickly as we can, because it's starting to spill. Put that right there. Is this going to burn the village? We're getting alarmingly close to the fact that to a place where it might. But is that a place worth living in? I don't know. Okay, so now bucket. We've expanded our lava production a lot. You can see that it is just constantly coming in. And now we can use these three on the exact 3 places we need to. So here, right there. Did I do it correctly? I did it over there, so that means I have to do it over here now. It's gonna be like right here. I can't find it, chat. There? Was that a block further forward by accident? It was. So there's still a lava block missing right here. But I'm doing it to the right there if I'm trying to do that. So let's go fill up our things again. Again, we've got lots of lava, so it is just gonna constantly be filling. And now I've got an infinite supply of lava to sit here and help me with. So this is going to be on the right side of the blocks. We'll try here first. I think that went in the wrong place. Yeah, so this is wrong. This is right. Yeah. Yeah! Okay, so we're literally just missing this one block here. I'm going to have to look underneath and see where the sign is. Okay, so the signs are like sort of offset forwards. Yeah, this is really messy. So that sign is for that block there. So this sign is like on the front of the block. So that's how, so it's not even on the front of the block. It's on the, if those signs are all going to the right, it's on the back of the block. So right in front of me is where I need to place it. But that's kind of where the, okay, so right here. There we go. Okay, we did it, chat. And so now we remove this, and block by block, as we remove it, I'm going to make sure there's lava sources there. So there's already a lava source there, but we need to make sure there's a lava source here. I can't be sure there's a lava source there. I would suspect there's not. So let's go fill it up, and let's go make sure. So there's some more lava for me. You made it so much more difficult for yourself using science. Yeah, I see how that is a thing, Dasher, and I'm gonna commit to my strategy anyway. This is one of the hardest parts about it. Okay, right here, bit of lava. Okay, there. That's a sign, right? Hey, yeah. No, I feel like this part is definitely messy. This is one of those things you should consider before starting a big project. But it's okay. I've got it like pretty good. As long as it's pretty good, I think that's fine. That's a good life rule. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be slightly better than people expect. It works for eggs, works for Minecraft projects, I'm pretty sure. So then we'll start destroying on this side. I think there's a block here. There's not, surprisingly. And then we're going to place a lava block here. I see a sign. So let's place an extra block. There we go. And then this can be the next block there. And then 3 more should get this done. I think we're definitely going to eventually run out of... No, it really is growing at a rate of 3 every time we need to come back in here. It's even faster right now. So let's hop back in. No! Okay, I'm fine. So we need to place one here, right? That didn't seem to work. Oh, no, I scooped one up. I have not done that before. That is a new feeling to me. And then we're going to have to get the one directly underneath that. So, there. Yeah, the fact that the sign is offset is definitely one of the big downsides. I should have used, like, scaffolding and maybe, like, string and sand. Yeah, if I use string and... No, because string can't destroy other string. It has to be signs. Chat, this is a chaotic chain reaction block. But it's one that you need anyway. As of the other beta tests of the project, I'm confident signs are still better than blocks. Thank you, Naito. That's what I need to hear. You know, I feel like it's easy to criticize, hard to follow through. I feel like that looks pretty decent now too. So I think the much harder part of this project is really going to be routing the river part of this. And that is something I do need to work out. And also, oh, all of my lava has finally started to vanish. So have we got all of this as sources? Probably. Now we've got to start slowly but surely replacing this as sources too. And also just making sure the village doesn't burn down. I think that's like a real struggle. Is like, at some point this becomes a genuine threat to the village. I hope not any point too soon. Yeah, this whole thing needs a bit of a rework, honestly. I need to put some planks there and some dirt over here maybe. Yeah, there's a lot of places where this could do with some small improvements, and I'll slowly be working on those improvements. But for now, I love that we keep taking steps forward on this, and I like that eventually we're gonna have this beautiful lava river in my world. So chat, I'm currently working on a video idea because I always have a trillion, like it used to be a trend on YouTube where people were like, oh, you ran out of ideas. Like, there's like a lazy criticism people always have. It's like the meme right now where you just say you fell off, and it's kind of true. I mean, statistically, the vast majority of YouTubers are not in their peak, right? Like, statistically, you're not at the peak of most things in your life. But I want to make a video of just, like, weird little things I would make a whole video out of. And so, maybe I'll include this as, like, a weird thing in there. Like, actually breaking it to see how it works. I like how the villager is watching you enter the secret lava farm you built in his basement. I built his basement, so really I think it's my basement. Oh, so yeah, just for a little life update before we go. So because I'm going to a place where someone's going to yell at me to exercise for a few hours. I won't be able to stream on Tuesday, I think. Or if I do, it'll have to be super early. And the same is true for Monday. So I'll be streaming one of those 2 days. And then that'll be my hardcore Ancient City challenge. I will be doing the 100 days thing. And I think it might be fun if we start a brand new, like, definitely make it work series as our start of Streamtember. Streamsember? Streammas, if you will. Anyway, thank you very much for watching today. Thank you if your name starts with a J, B, L, P, Q, A, B, C, D, E, or Z. Everyone else, better luck next time. Hope you up your game. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. It's been a real fun time hanging out with you. And make sure to catch Streammas starting very soon. D-Streamber. Oh, that's good. That's good, Dasher. I'm going to copyright that right now. Okay. Oh, I'm going to order some food, actually. What should we get, chat? So here's the options we got available. I'm going to make sure it's daytime, just so I don't get hit by a phantom or something. Not that I think it will happen. So chat, I've got a few. Oh, also, go check out Seed Sunday. It was I don't know what happened, but at some point in the last, like, 2 years, Seed Sunday went from, like, oh yeah, everyone loves checking out Minecraft seeds, to no one has any interest in Minecraft seeds ever. So I've tried, like, a couple of rebrands on Seed Sunday. This is my latest one. Get some tasty Mexican food. Okay, oh yeah, I'm thinking I want some pizza, chat. Do you want some pizza, chat? I was gonna, like, I've been craving. I hung out with my cousin yesterday. It was very fun. We got a little bit of what they call Detroit style pizza, and it was just so good. I've been thinking about it since. So chat, I'll be honest with you. I bought a little ciabatta bread. Should I make myself a pizza? Should I buy myself a pizza? Should I buy myself multiple pizzas? If I do it while I'm live, it's probably technically a business expense. Pizza chat sounds like a bad talk show. You know, let's make it happen. Pizza chat. First guest coming soon. Otherwise, though, yeah, I've got a messy inventory. I'm gonna dump this in here, and then I've got probably an empty shulker box. I'm gonna, you know, let's do inventory organization before we go. I've got to head over. Cooking with Toy Cat when? We can do cooking with Toy Cat right now. Who's gonna stop me? Is there anyone who could? I don't think there's anyone who could stop me. Do you think we should say good dusk? I'd like it if we said good dusk. Maybe we should. Good dusk, everybody. I mean, like, you don't say good sunset or sunrise. That'd be insane, right? Also, good to see you, Pat. How are you doing today? I've had a day. You know, if you want to hear my story, chat, while we're here, because, you know, like, I'm a big believer in, like, economics, but also I think the thing that has been helping me a lot to, like, rationalize the gaps in it is like when you understand where humans are irrational, you can understand where economics is rational, I think, or where economics fails. And one of my, like, least favorite quirks of it is restaurant reservations. I need to go on a small rant about restaurant reservations. Chat. So I went to go to a place today. It was just a pub that was, like, very fancy, a gastro pub. If anyone could understand what that means. So I went to go to a place today. I had a car anyway that was, like, just about to return. So I was like, I'll go there on the way to returning it. It'll be like a fun little extra day, a little like thing to do over weekend, right? I'm gonna put this in there. Kind of confusing up the trial chamber loop, but it's just where they go. And so as soon as I walk in, my like, this is my like usual life pro tip. If you want to go to a restaurant and you're worried about like, ooh, but won't you need a reservation? Especially like for a pub, it's like which you probably shouldn't worry about. It's like, but the easiest thing to do to get into basically any good restaurant, if it's not one of those like you need to be on a 26-month wait list restaurants, it's like just go just as they open, or go when they're not very busy. It's like it's the life hack no one wants to tell you about. Is that restaurants like money? You know, it's they are rational. In at least that one way. And so, I go to this place, and I go there like so the least busy time for a place that does lunch and dinner is between lunch and dinner. There's this is a really common thing. There's a huge lunch peak when people come in somewhere for lunch, and then there's a dip, and then there's a huge peak again for dinner. But there's this perfect trough in between the two, between lunch and dinner. Where businesses rarely get very many customers. So if you want to go somewhere that's even like pretty exclusive, usually if you go there, especially if it's an off-peak day, you'll be fine. So I went to a day, just like chancing my luck, knowing that it wouldn't necessarily work. I went to a place and I was like, oh yeah, don't have a reservation, but is that possible this time? And they just went, no. And it's like, okay, just immediately like, act like I'm not there, walk away. It's like, okay, you're one of those places. But and a part of me is like, you know, okay, weird. You know, like, you know, I feel like there's better ways to handle that, but it's chill. You know, like, oh, sorry, you know, like, whatever, like that. But the thing that, like, really got me is, like, later I looked it up, because I was like, oh, yeah, I didn't even, like, because it is a pub, I didn't even, like, I didn't make much effort into looking into, like, what their reservation system was like. And they don't just do, like, reservations to me are insane, because it's like, instead of letting people into a restaurant based on them being there, you let people hold up chairs and a table, right? Instead of having customers in your restaurant, you replace those customers with theoretical customers. Like, some insane percent of people don't show up to reservations. It's a really interesting, like, thing that happens, in my opinion. But what's even more interesting is that, so I've been to a restaurant once, like a place I kind of wanted to go. It was a sushi place, and this sushi place was like, it had like 100 seats. I went there once, and they were like, so sorry, we can't let you in. We're fully booked. And I thought it was closed because there's literally no one in the restaurant. And I'm like, oh, it looks kind of empty. And they're like, yeah, like, just people haven't arrived for their tables yet. And it's like, so that restaurant turned away, like, a real customer so they could later serve, like, a hypothetical customer. Which seems like a weird, like, joke. But it's not. But it's a real thing restaurants choose to do. And you should have, as a restaurant, like, some percent of your space reserved so that people can, like, choose to make those. Like, if you're going to have your birthday party in 5 weeks' time, or even 5 days' time, and you know that, that's chill. But, like, this is one of those places that lets you, like, reserve, like, on the day if you want to. So it's like someone decided an hour before, you know, like, at the same time that I decided, like, while I was on the drive there, that they wanted to eat there, you know, presumably, and they would have been fine. And so that makes me a little bit crazy. But what was real wild is this place, apparently they're fancy enough, or maybe insane enough, I can't tell you which. They have, like, a thing you can sign up for where you can pay a yearly fee, and then your reservations get priority over everyone else's. And it's like, man, I'm impressed that they can pull this off, but I'm amazed that people are willing to, like, pay a subscription fee for a restaurant. But also, the fact that that's a thing proves, like, yeah, a reservation only works if they guarantee they won't seat someone else on your table, which therefore guarantees it is, like, bad business for the restaurant. Anyway, my point is like, I think the concept of reservations is crazy. I think it's you locking yourself into a restaurant. I think if you don't get a discount in exchange, or, like, some, you know, like, some defining feature, if it's not, like, actually required, I think it's, like, nuts. But also, I've been scorned by it a couple of times. So maybe it's not actually so nuts. Maybe I'm the one who is nuts, we could say. So, yeah, as you can see, we're slowly crafting away some blocks of bamboo. I think I will just let this, like, dough do its thing, maybe. Yeah, we've now done some inventory organization. For everyone who's been asking, you're welcome. For anyone who hasn't been asking, I guess you're not. For now, though, thank you very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. And I'll see you for one more live stream. And then we'll be taking a small break before Streamless. Hopefully during Streamless we can do Shotcraft. It'll be fun. But if not, have a great day anyway. because I'll see you next time. Good. Wow, this Elytra looks so good. Anyway, have a good day. Bye. Look at that. His face is getting cut in half here. Oof. Maybe your face will get cut.